Now, viewers, in the latest, amid the nationwide grief over the terror attack in Pahalgam, India took a slew of diplomatic measures against Pakistan. This includes the closure of the Attari Integrated Checkpost and the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty. Meanwhile, Pakistan has suspended the 1972 Simla Agreement. This is a significant bilateral peace treaty signed between the two countries after India emerged victorious in the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War. The war had resulted in the succession of East Pakistan and the creation of the independent nation of Bangladesh. Following India's intervention, the treaty was a significant diplomatic milestone, setting the tone for the post-war reconciliation and outlining key principles to guide the future interactions. Pakistan's move to suspend the agreement has wide-ranging implications. On that note, let's take a look at the provisions of the treaty and the consequences of the suspension. All right, viewers, now in fact, let's take a look at what is the Simla Agreement and how exactly the peace treaty that was signed on 1972 in the month of July then further in fact impacted the relationships. As you can see in the visuals, this is Indira Gandhi, the former Prime Minister, and the peace treaty was signed between India and Pakistan as in fact in the year 1972. And it was signed between Indira Gandhi and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in the year 1972. Following this treaty, viewers, now India-Pakistan War of 1971, which led to Bangladesh's creation. This is how Bangladesh came into being, and it put an end. While the Simla Agreement in fact had the treaties with the agreements on both the sides, it put an end to the conflict and confrontation, lay down the principle for both the nations for the future interactions. For India and Pakistan, while the outcomes in fact of this treaty looked like, it gave back 13,000 kilometer Pakistani land that was seized by the Indian Army. Indian Army had to give 13,000 kilometer of land. The outcomes also included that it settled the differences by the peaceful means through bilateral negotiations. In the year 1972, the bilateral negotiations paved a very critical in fact way and converted 1971 ceasefire line into the line of control. That is how, in fact, after Bangladesh was created, the line of control between India and Pakistan also was demarcated very clearly. Both the sides agreed the line of control not to be altered unilaterally. There should not be any attempt of violating what was clearly defined as the line of control as per the treaty. The consequences of the agreement looks like the peace signing happened is no longer existing. Now, in fact, the peace signing which happened in 1971 does not exist. Immediate de-recognition of the state of Bangladesh. And the line of, in fact, after Pakistan suspends Simla Agreement, the line of control no longer is in existence. That means that the violations to these is possibly a scenario from both the ends. In fact, now as we see and we look at all the kind of pointers that the peace treaty looks like, let's also speak to our guest viewers that are there with us on the broadcast.